She's also a good storyteller. She has produced a lot and documented a lot of African historical century. Just go check her out on YouTube. And
Adri, I uncover Africa's untold stories and help you heal through storytelling.
so now I see that you're focused on Edo culture, culture, and it's so amazing about the history that they have. I grew up from Edo. I'm not from Edo State. I grew up from Benin, and it's a lot of history that I've learned through your channel. So please, how did you get into narrating stories in such a
Yeah.
good, amazing way?
Thank you. Thank you. So you're not Edo, right? But you grew up in Edo.
Yeah.
So are you, what area are you from?
I'm from Delta State. I'm a
Yes.
local girl.
Yes, yes, yes.
I embrace Benin because I grew up in
Grew
Benin.
up there, yeah. Yeah, and even before, like Benin was larger than stories that are not, that you are afraid to tell,
Mhm.
just exploring that.
Yeah. So your guys,
Greetings,
my
greetings.
friend, yes, my friend, she's not just an actress, she's also a good storyteller. She has produced a lot and documented a lot of African historical century. Just go check her out on YouTube. And she's a good narrator of a lot of African history. So now I see that you're focused on Edo culture, culture, and it's so amazing about the history that they have. I grew up from Edo. I'm not from Edo State. I grew up from Benin, and it's a lot of history that I've learned through your channel. So please, how did you get into narrating stories in such a
Yeah.
good, amazing way?
Thank you. Thank you. So you're not Edo, right? But you grew up in Edo.
Yeah.
So are you, what area are you from?
I'm from Delta State. I'm a
Yes.
local girl.
Yes, yes, yes.
I embrace Benin because I grew up in
Grew
Benin.
up there, yeah. Yeah, and even before, like Benin was larger than what it is right now. So me, Edo, yeah, I'm telling a lot of Edo stories. Yeah, we wish. No, well, I explore more Edo stories because I'm Edo,
Okay.
and I also grew up like in Edo State. So I believe like before you go out to explore external stories, it is important that you know yourself first, right? You begin to understand yourself. And I remember that when I was a child, my mom used to give me books to read because she knows I love. I think I even have like this is an old book that was printed, I don't know, 19 something like that, right? And I used 1986, this book was printed. So I had like a collection of real old books. And then I never really read it. So it was, I think, about 10 or 15 years ago, I started reading all those books. And I was like, oh, look at stories. Me that like stories, look at stories. And we don't know these things. We don't grow up learning these things. And most of the stories made me, because I was not really interested in like the Edo culture or identity. I was not interested. But most of the stories, as I was reading it, I started to see like the value in understanding where you are from, like where your parents are from. Then some of the stories made me even start understanding why my parents did that. Why? Because it showed, okay, this is how they were primed. That is why. It gave me more empathy for not just myself, but also for the people before me. And I began to see, okay, let's tell the stories. How do we tell the stories? Because now, um, yeah, so the easiest way now, we live in a new world where there's technology. It's either you be waiting for who will come and make a big film about your story. Why should they do it? This is one question I keep asking people. Why do you think someone else that has no connection to your story, they are sitting there in their house peacefully enjoying themselves, we now carry and go and look for you? First of all, how would they even know you exist? Then they will now tell your story. Wait. If they now tell your story, how do you think you're going to come out in that story? Because they don't understand the culture, they don't understand the nuances around it. So they will tell you from their own eyes, right? So for me, it was like, let's just start narrating the stories that I have. It's a form of documentation, right? It's a form of just keeping something behind. And when I think about my kids, like kids that are born in Europe, I want them to be able to say, okay, this is a story, this is a story, because they are not going to get the books that my mom gave me. So me telling the story is just exactly the same thing like my mom giving me the books. Do you get? So all those things are for me like personal, personal, personal.
Yeah. Are you trying to maybe in the future produce a documentary on this? Or what's the plan for the future for this storytelling you're doing?
Yeah. Oh, those days I used to make plans. Me, I don't make plans anymore. I just like walk into the session the day and do what I feel is right. But the vision, I've done one documentary now, Custodians of the Red Gold. That's about the Great Benin Empire, the invasion, and everything. And when I was in that documentary, oh my God, I was enjoying it. You know, we actually went to like a Edo cultural group to make songs. They made like good songs like Over hey, Over and it's just listening to all these things, and they made songs for warriors like Ayo. All these things were like, oh my God, there is so much juice and history that we still need to uncover. So I made this documentary. So that's just a big
Oba Ovorame Nogbaisi was keen on regulating the massive extraction of
beginning. And I think if we have the capacity, we should go beyond where we came from, right? Like there's Yoruba, they are like cousins. You have ethnic group, you have Hausa. Then go beyond, you have the Ashanti, you have Northern Africa. So there is so much stories that have been on that are not told yet. And I think it's entertaining. It's not only that like we're learning about our history, it's really entertaining. You know, sometimes you just sit down and because me, I'm a fan of like epic or historical stuff. So sometimes you just sit down after you've watched like Vikings, Return of Valhalla, Barbarians, you've watched all this European history. You're like, okay, now I want to see some African shows, you know, and we don't have enough. So my vision will be not just me, because I have a team that supports me, that works with me. So without them, there are young people in Nigeria, and even them that in Nigeria, young people. So when we are researching the stories, you can see their jaw falling, like they didn't even know this, right? And how will you now live in a space? How do you want to build your house if you don't know all the rooms in your house? Will you know where to paint? You know, so this is just metaphorically now. So that's something I've seen, like when we're talking about like advancing ourselves, the talking about exploring the things that were before you and trying to connect them to where you are now, the present, and how can you take this to the future. That one is like the vision, like enable others to tell the stories, right? So someone from Ethiopia now should be a young girl from Ethiopia should be able to tell her story of her community, right? So that's where our platform, Bold Joe, is working towards. But well, they say you start from your home. So we started from Edo. We are moving now to Yoruba people. And I'm going to be doing a tour around some Yoruba speaking states very soon. I'll be doing lots of live so that we can start exploring more stories.
That's amazing. I'm very happy because this is very important for this generation today, you know, because what this generation, the young children today do not know is that Africa, we are blessed with a lot of beautiful culture and it needs to be told so that it's not forgotten. You understand?
Which also meant that it had this political drive behind the construction. The real question is, why did we not learn about this in school? I grew up in Edo State. I've not even really seen this motto like in this concept anymore, just like remains. So when the European traders, later colonizers, came to the continent,